So I thought it would be fun to do some words that are spelled the same, but may have a different meaning. Okay, so anyway, so in sign language, it is a conceptual language, and so you would assign it the same if it has a different meaning. So the first one is minute and minute. Minute, 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 minute. Content or content. So you say it differently, but it's spelled the same, just like minute and minute. Content, content, satisfied, relieved. You usually go up to your body and touch it and go down. Satisfied, relieved. Sometimes I don't want to touch. It just depends on if I'm talking or if I'm interpreting. And the contents of something. Here's my little vessel, and then I'm going to take it all and I'm going to put it inside my vessel. The contents in it, if you will. The content of something. The content of the book. The content of that paper. The content of that conversation. The next one is object or object. So object would be the letter O, and yes, it's initialized, and I do it this way. So the object, it's the same as, remember we did things, and we did like ingredients. I'm holding something, so this is thing. This is, I have to get some equipment. I have to get some different ingredients for my recipe, resources, but object I would probably do with an O. And then to object, used to disagree. So you think differently. Think differently is to object. You could also say, I refuse, like a conscientious objector, with a refuse to have a gun during war. So if you're in the military, I object. You could also say a thumbs down, right? So I object to that. Like, oh, great, or like, I don't think so, right? You object. And then there is read and read. So you say it differently, and it's spelt the same, and it means something different. So to read, you have your piece of paper or your page, or whatever it is, and then you have your V hand shape, and it's your two eyes, and you're reading. And then when you've read it complete. You read complete. Finish. Read, finish. So this is a completed action. Read, finish. Oh, that book, have you read? Finish? Yes, I read finish. Right? So that's how you would say that. It's read, finish. Remember, it's conceptual. And then excuse me, and there's no excuse. You can say, oh, excuse me, like you're at a party, and there's people there, and you're trying to go, oh, excuse me, like you're trying to get through into the kitchen or to the bathroom or whatever. Say, excuse me. Or you can say, excuse none, or excuse not, right? There's no excuse. Excuse, So we do use excuse quite a bit. And it's used, and it's the same sign actually, because the same is it's really kind of the same concept. And then here's one for wind and wind. So wind can mean different things. Like for a toy, you kind of wind it up, right? So here's your toy, and you're winding it up, right? Or even a clock. You could say, oh, I have a clock and I have to wind it up. It's old-fashioned, I wind it up. So you're holding on to it and you're winding it up. Or if you want to wind up the conversation, winding it up, or winding up a story, right? Because remember, like when you do a story, I think I've done it before, you open it up and then you tell the story. So you can kind of demonstrate it, and then when you're closing it, you're winding it down. When I was working with children and telling a story, once upon a time, right? Long time ago, once upon a time, when we're going to open it up, and then they lived happily ever after at the end, right? Instead of saying the end, we're closing up that story or that idea or that dream. So that's how you would do that one, because they can mean two different things, right? And then wind, we've done this one before, right? I make the noise when I learned and I practice and I try to teach people because it helps you understand what you're doing and how you would show that wind, right? A sustained wind, or it's just windy, or oh, it's just kind of breezy and it's windy outside. My hair, the whole bit. So you could do that for windy and have your wind and look different ways. So I thought that was just fun to look at words that are spelled the same, said different, and mean different, except for the word excuse or no excuse, excuse none, excuse not, right? So look at words when you're reading or when you're listening. Think about how they're spelt and then how they're used and how you would sign that conceptually. All right, go and have fun and practice, and I'll see you later. Bye.